Hey, welcome to another tutorial for Building Crafter. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use the window stretcher, which is one of Building Crafter's most powerful features, just to give you an overview of what it does. What you can do is you can take any sort of mesh and actually stretch it into any window space. So as an example here, I've got this example, and I'm going to just expand the window, the width of the window, and it automatically takes the mesh that it has right here and stretches it to fit. Some really cool things that you can do with it is you can actually change the width of the window. So if you want like some really wide windows, if you want really tight windows, you can change that as well. And also you can adjust based on sort of the same thing as Unity's 9 GUI or 9 space cutter. You can actually adjust how the window is cut when you're using it. And an example of this is if I want to make the top of the window only ever stretch, for example, with like a high window or a very tall window, it'll only stretch the top. But then if I move this down, it'll actually stretch each area. So you can actually see what happens is that any area that's in here is stretched, and any area on these corners is kept the same distance. So I even move this, it'll stretch the top down a bit. So I wanted to show you how to use any sort of window and actually put this directly into this scene. So what I've done is I've found on the asset store a free props for classrooms, and what they have is these very simple window scenes. So what I want to do first of all, and I've already got an example here, is go in. This is what it'll look like. Generate this window here. This is what it'll look like. I need to go into the project, find the classroom stuff, find the mesh, and drag in the window. Now, first thing we want to do with this window is that it is actually facing the incorrect way, and it's really offset. So what I want to do is move this right to 0, 0, 0. Just focus on that again. And now this is set up. So the first thing we do is we want to switch this window frame around. So I copy the window frame, add another one, and flip that right around so that it's got a good face and good backing. Because obviously you want a window that shows up on both sides. Now the blinds seem to be a one-sided thing with no normals, so what I'll do is I'll grab the blind, copy it, paste another one, and rotate it this way so that the blinds line up. So now I've got that, got both sides, it's great. Next thing I want to do is the window, just for the center, the pivot is kind of offset, so I'll grab all of these things, rotate them 90 degrees. Oh, got to do it at the center, which I'll show you what. Actually, I'll leave that for now because there's something important with that. So I'll bring this into fairly close to where the center is. It doesn't have to be exactly in the center, but it does help. And the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that the front of the window is facing towards the 2D direction. So right now it's actually sideways. So what I want to do is go and actually rotate it around 90 degrees until it's facing me. So now it's facing me, which is good because that's going to be part of the cutout system that I'm going to show you in a second. So now I've got this compound object. Click on Window. I'm going to remove this animator because it's pointless. Add BC Window. And what this does is it shows up the GUI. Now, as you saw in the last example, this is the 9 slice system. So I just bring this down to the bottom where I want these sides to not stretch, and then I bring this top side down as well. So it's not stretching there. And then in the wall offset, that's actually how the distance that the window is stretched to within the window. So anyways, we'll go ahead and hit live view, and it's already stretched correctly. Now this actually, because this window is so small, and you can scale these if you want, this gives a good example of what will happen if I scroll this down. So as you can see, as I drag this down, it's stretching the window so that it does not stretch this area, but it does stretch this area throughout the mesh. So you can see this window is the exact same height as these ones, but because it's so much smaller, it's scrolling down. So just drag this back up. And then some of these settings in here. So this shows where the window will appear inside the wall. So if I drag this around, it's dragging it back and forth and actually generating the inside and the interior at the same time. And then there's another setting in here which shows how far the outside will come into the window. So if I drag this back, you can see that the window is now the outside is now being dragged into the window. And I can also move this around and it still stays with the same amount. So this is really good when you want to set the window center right into the middle. You also, if you have really thick windows, you can completely destroy that, or you can completely remove that, and it won't generate a frame. So it's good for like really thick windows if you want to keep your number of triangles down. And then the other thing that you can do is you can really extend this out, and as I showed in the other example, is you can bring down the max width of each window. So for example, these windows, they actually look a lot better if you've got a smaller number of them. So you bring them down, and then now they will repeat automatically. And how this does it is it actually takes the window, stretches it to the max frame here, and then does it on each side till it gets to the end, at which point it stretches a very small window on that. So you can do them to any size. The other thing that you can do is you can also view some of the standards that are in Building Crafter. The tall windows, they stretch a bit more. And if you really want to see all of the windows at once, you can click Generate Test Stretch Window. It takes a little bit of time because it has to generate all the windows, but as you can see, if you want to look at an entire building at once, you can see what it will look like when it's generated. This isn't live. The live view is only for one single building, just because it's a little bit memory intensive. It does do it live in the live screen. So yeah, so that was the tutorial on how to use the Building Crafter window stretching system. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at buildingcrafter@8bitgoose.com. And thanks for watching the tutorial. Have a great day.